welcome to the Get A Gaming Plus podcast. I am Alex,
I'm Ben.
and we are your bi-weekly podcast where we just talk about whatever we like, whether that is video games, I don't know, music. I don't know. We never talk about music. I was just thinking about. I have some CDs right here. I was like, yeah, sure, why not music? We might
I
talk
mean,
about music occasionally.
I think you've been in my car. We definitely have such different tastes in music.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Let's see. Yeah, we talk about video games mostly. We talk about TV shows. We talk about cartoons, anime, whatever we like. We talk about. If you like any of those things, consider looking us up or watching us or listening to us wherever we post. Where that is like Spotify. You can find an audio version over there. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on pretty much every podcast service.
Pretty much.
You should be able to find us. And if you don't, and if you really want us somewhere weird and we're not there for some reason, let us know and we'll try to get there. Because it's probably not that hard, knock on wood. And then we also have a video version of these that posts on YouTube, youtube.com/getagaming. Again, these are bi-weekly episodes here. A little bit of just some news for y'all. We are getting to the point where we are recording some holiday episodes for y'all. So look forward to those. Those are going to be coming out during, let's see, what is it, like after Thanksgiving for pretty much the whole month of December, including like the first week of January. And that's
It's
a
our
time.
break.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's our break time where essentially we are tired and we realize for about a month that we hate doing the show. And so we're like, man, it's great to just not talk to anyone and just not do the show and just, just recharge. We need to sleep it off. And then we're raring to go for the next year. Honestly, that's how most shows do it, I feel.
Yeah.
Or they just abruptly just disappear, which can happen too. But yeah, today we have some things that we're going to talk about, some big things. There was a Nintendo Direct that happened the past week, as well as the PlayStation State of Play. Oddly enough, they both happened on the same day. So we'll be talking mostly about those. We do like to talk about first, before we get into news stories or topics. We like to talk about what we've been playing, what we've been watching, as well as our hidden trophies. So just things that we find around the world and want to show off. So I guess I will go first since you already told me that you had no hidden trophies. So
It's getting so. Anyone that knows me knows I've got several children, and I've got a birthday in October and in December plus Christmas. So usually around this time, I slow down with any purchasing. I concentrate on those things. Plus, it's also my wedding anniversary this month, so a little light in the finances to buy video games. Although I will have one next week that I know of.
yeah. All right. I only really have one thing to show off, and then I'll kick it back to you about what you've been playing, what you've been watching. But as far as hidden trophies go, I don't have this thing. I guess I technically have two things. I have this one thing close to me, but I finally got a disk drive for my computer. Just an external one because computers nowadays don't have optical disk drives anymore. So I bought one for like $40 from Best Buy. It's a DVD CD drive. It is a Dell one, so it's fairly quiet, which is nice. And it's very sleek and compact. So now I can like finally like start to listen to all these CDs that I keep buying. Because I have a bunch of like CDs from like Detective Conan or Lupin or these dot hack CDs, and don't really have any way to listen to them because the PS5 doesn't read CDs at all, doesn't play them, which is crazy.
It is super crazy that it doesn't play CDs.
Yeah, even though
So
there's like a media player on there, it doesn't play CDs at all.
yeah,
So I don't know if it's because of the laser or something, or they just really just don't care. But yeah, that's the thing in there. But the Xbox, all the Xboxes, including the Series X, those play CDs. So I play them through like VLC player or something on my Xbox. But yeah, now I can get them on my computer and probably burn a bunch of them, or rip, I guess, a bunch of them onto my computer since I have them all. To make it easier to listen to these things instead of having to pop in a CD each time. So I got that, and then on my way while I was looking around and buying things, I found the last copy, or let me rephrase that. I made someone find it for me. I went to Barnes and Noble and I couldn't find a book, and so I went to like the little customer service thing in the middle, and they're like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "I'm looking for this," and it wasn't where it was supposed to be. It was in normal science fiction. Um, but I got Gary Whitta's new book.
oh nice.
Yeah. As far as I know, it was the only copy over there. So yeah, we'll see if I read this. But I wanted to support Gary.
Let's see if I read it.
Yeah, like I have intentions of reading his books and stuff, or just reading books in general, but then other things happen instead. But thought I might as well buy it now, because otherwise it might be harder to find later, as well as the book just came out. So like now is the time to buy it, so then it can get on like a bestsellers list. It can, like this is a time when an author wants their book to be bought. Like obviously they want it to always be bought, but like this is like the award ceremony time, so definitely made sense for me to buy it now. But otherwise, that's all I've really bought recently. As I said earlier, I'm gonna throw it back to you so you can talk about what you've been watching and what you've been playing, and then we'll go back to me for that afterwards. But some of our stuff might be kind of tied together, so might take
Oh
a
yeah,
while
I'm
on
sure.
this.
Well, one of the things I've been watching the last couple of months is Justified on FX. So I'm on the last season and I'm like 3 episodes left, which is crazy because he has one where he's the main character is in Florida and he's older. And so like that just started this year. Um, and so I'm almost done with that. Uh, I feel like I know we don't talk about this much. The writer strike is taking a lot longer. The writer actors strike. Uh, we're not going to see a lot of new episodes at some point. We're not going to see a lot of new things come out. So trying to get caught up on a lot of this other stuff.
Yeah, really, really quick on that. I did hear something. What was it, like yesterday or something? There might be hopes of the writer's strike ending here soon.
Oh, good.
Because of basically like one of the kickbacks of like the union being like, hey, no, studios, here's our revision of the revision. um it sounds like this one might be good enough for them to just take it and go for it, because as you said, it's been taking too long.
It,
And they're
it
they're
all comes
losing
down to
so much money from it.
it comes down to greed. These higher executives, they're making millions and millions of dollars, like Netflix especially makes millions of dollars off a show, but then like that guy that's in that show that's maybe not like a main actor is making 32 cents for being streamed. That's total crap.
Mm-hmm.
We had this a couple of years ago when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, and there was nothing to watch. It was awful. No movies coming out, no TV shows coming out. So I think this is going to hit us soon. So trying to watch a lot of this older stuff.
2008, right?
Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people remember how awful it was. There was nothing to watch.
We had Dr.
Uh,
Horrible's sing along blog though. We had that from
yes,
Joss Whedon.
yeah, but like, my thought is like trying to watch all these old shows now while there's nothing new. Um, and then the other thing I started watching was Ahsoka. So I got the first episode done, which was difficult with children, but I got it done. Uh, and I'm like behind. I understand I'm behind, but I wanted to watch it so I could watch multiple episodes. So I'll get it caught up. Justified is not a children's show, so I can't watch it around them.
Yeah.
But I can watch Ahsoka around them. They may or may not be interested. They keep asking where Boba Fett is. I said I don't think he's in here, but thank you. But it's been the first episode was very good. I was very much impressed. It had that same feeling when I watched the first episode of Obi-Wan.
Mm.
So I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I, I think that first episode is great. We talked about earlier before this that the first episode and the second episode go together,
Yeah.
because they aired at the same time technically. So I'm hoping that you get to watch that one here soon. But I forget because I wanted to talk about this. Because I have a gripe with Star Wars, or I guess just Rebels. It's kind of like a stupid thing. Did you see the mural in your episode? Like the
I sure
mural
did.
from Rebels, and like everyone just looks like their CG Rebels person. Um
Yeah.
so I had this question way back in season 1 of Rebels when I first watched it. And uh why can't I remember his name? Ezra. Ezra was looking at a photo, and it was of his parents. And his parents were CG. And so I brought up the stupid question, hey, do you think that's actually a photo, or you think that's like a painting of his parents and the paintings look like their CG counterparts? And so now that
That's
this came out, I guess the artist's interpretation of painting people is that you look like a CG Disney cartoon.
I mean, yeah. Um, and we've seen bits and pieces. So, spoiler alert: if you've not watched the third season of Mandalorian, I don't know why, but one of the characters from Rebels shows up in the bar that they're in,
Yeah.
and he has a conversation with Mando. So, um, I think it's a long time coming. Um, and I wanted to make sure to do it right, so I watched all of Rebels straight through. And I know Alex is like, "Hey, you're going to get a better understanding if you watch this. If you don't, you're going to be like, I don't understand this. I don't know this."
Yeah.
So my son, who loved Rebels, I think he still has the Blu-rays, is actually like rewatching Rebels as well, just to get an idea before he watches it. I will say that the Star Wars stuff is hit and miss. I think the Marvel stuff's really hit and miss as well, but this was like spot on,
Yeah.
you know. And I already know spoilers because the internet sucks
Yeah.
for later episodes, but I feel like with the Marvel shows they're not really clicking, but the
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars shows, if they could do them right, are clicking, and this is just one of them.
Yeah. How much of Clone Wars did you watch?
Man, I probably got to season 3 and I'm like, I can't keep doing this. Like it to me, it felt super long, and they do those
Yeah.
recaps every time, and the Disney app doesn't work the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like at Netflix, once you get to like skip through episodes like the recap, they finally go, "Do you want us to skip all those?" And then it does it, goes
Mm-hmm.
straight in the episode. Um, Disney doesn't do that yet, and so I just got bored with it. Now I'm going to probably go back and do. There's a video. There's a couple of videos on YouTube I've seen where it's like, "Hey, you're trying to watch Ahsoka. Let's get a breakdown on the Clone Wars TV show to show you why certain things are significant, but just give you a rundown of the seasons."
So, without going into spoilers for anything, I don't know if you saw it, because I don't know how far along it is. Watch lists are awful for Clone Wars. Because everyone tells you to basically just skip everything, and every list is different. So no matter what, you're just skipping the whole show, and that's not
Right.
right. Like, yes, the show is very hit and miss, but overall, it is worth it to watch almost all of it. And they're not that long. But I will say there is a how many episodes is it? Might be like 2 or 3 episodes. A little mini-sode, I guess. It has to deal with the Force, and it's not canon, but it is canon, and they kind of revisited in Rebels a little bit too, with like the father and like the and like the two kids, like the balance of the Force and all that kind of stuff. That is an arc that you should really watch in Clone Wars, especially here soon, because there's stuff in current episodes of Ahsoka that if you watch those, you'd have a better understanding of certain things, and then you would understand why a certain character is acting the way they are and like stuff like that. So I highly recommend watching. I forget what they're called, but it's basically like these Force beings or whatever. It's on like some planet, and
I'll have to look that up.
yeah, it's Ahsoka's there, Obi-Wan's there, and Anakin's there.
I'll have to look it up.
But
I mean, because I mean, so far I've enjoyed it. You know, and again, like I feel like the Star Wars shows have hit spot on.
yeah,
Like I was one of the few that like Book of Boba Fett. I guess people didn't like it, but I thought it was fine.
yeah, I thought it was fine. It just had some weird things I didn't like, but overall, like all of it was fine.
Yeah. But like Mandalorian's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Wan was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is getting to that level of like, okay, this is going to be fantastic. You know, I don't know what else they would do after this, but you know, I know they're working on the next season of Mandalorian, which is not for another year. Obi-Wan they're working on it, but you know, I feel like Disney, this is the way to go. And if you're going to charge me more money, make sure you give me this like stuff like this.
Like how you didn't even mean to say it, but you said this is the way to go.
This is the way. Yeah, that guy didn't last too long, did he? Spoilers. But I still think, um, you know, this is the right way to go. I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
But if you look, Disney has some really cool stuff coming out. Not to go on a tangent, but they have a new Goosebumps show coming out.
Yeah.
On the 13th of next month. It is not for little kids.
No.
And it's got big actors. It's got like Justin Long is in it.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the trailer, I was like, this is where they talk about for those teen horror, like Scary Stories Tell in the Dark. That was totally a teen scary movie.
Yeah.
But it looks pretty decent. I just wish Disney, if they're going to charge all this money, come out with some like other things, I guess, that are, I don't know. I feel like there's stuff that's not on their site that they should have. They own the property too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's all I've really been watching. You know, just trying to get those done. I haven't even caught up on What We Do in the Shadows, which I keep sending that same clip to people that I sent to Alex.
Oh, yeah.
The one where he's in the mall.
Yeah.
I sent it to someone had done a thing where it says how I am when I go into Walmart and they have samples. Basically, it's a scene where this lady's like she's in the mall and Laszlo walks by, which is Matt Berry, who's hilarious, and she's like asking if he wants to smell it, and he basically tells her a very not nice word that begins with F, and the last word is off. He's like, I have no time for sexy potions. And he has this great British accent, and it's just the funniest thing ever. Um, yeah, but I'll finish up on that show too.
Mhm.
So that's basically what I've been watching. How about you?
Um,
Oh wait, sorry, I'm still playing Sea of Stars. About
yeah,
30 hours in almost.
okay. And in Halo, obviously, but
You
that's
see me play Halo probably every day.
I'm just working. I'm just like, oh, there's a Halo here.
Ben's taking a Halo break.
Yeah. Um. So what I'm watching is a bunch of random things here or there. Honestly, I am still watching Gundam. We're further along into it. There was a cameo, like a weird little Easter egg of Lupin and Jigen, an original Gundam from '79. They were both like
Really?
on Jaburo when they were letting the big ship out. They were both like in spacesuits, and they're like the handyman workers, and they like you could tell like one of them was G. Like he didn't have the hat, but like you could tell that was Jigen, and Lupin has a particular face, and I was like, oh, hello, it's Lupin and Jigen. This is cool. Because anime back then, especially in the '80s as well, always had a bunch of references to everything. Um, but yeah, still watching that. Um, I'm watching Ahsoka as well, but I'm watching that weekly. Last episode is the best episode of Star Wars.
That's what I keep hearing.
It is. It's very good. I like that's not even an exaggeration. I think it's very very good. And awesome. Let's see. Watching more Dragon Ball Kai when I can, just to have kind of on, because it's easier to put in than to, or it's easier to tune to on Hulu than to put in my disc and finish Dragon Ball instead. Um, so I'm in the Cell games, so I got to see my boy Mr. Satan, aka Hercule, try to fight Cell, and they're like, "Oh, why? Um, why did you? It looked like you just tripped and you were thrown there." He's like, "Oh no, to the untrained eye, that's what it looks like. But no, I am the greatest." I just,
I don't. He was to me in that series, he is like that annoying character.
I love
Uh,
him so much, and he gets redeemed so well in the Boo saga, where he does save the world. He saves the world.
yeah, he does.
Spoilers for Dragon Ball Z, but no one cares. Um, he becomes friends with Boo. He's like sent there to like try to kill Boo, like in his sleep or something. And he's like, "Oh no, here, let's be a family. Let's hang out with this dog, and here you can have a dog, and we can be friends." And then he even saves the planet by telling the world to share their energy with Goku because everyone trusts Mr. Satan,
Yep.
because they're all like, "Oh yeah, he defeated Cell. He's our champion. Everyone loves him. No one hates him at all." And so if he says to do it, then I guess it's a good thing. So yeah, we'll put our hands up and we'll give our energy. So they kill Kid Buu because of Hercule. Um, but yeah, no, I love he's like Macho Man Randy Savage, I guess, kind of, but
Yeah.
more cocky, I would say, and like more of a doofus. Um, but no, I've always liked him. He's always been my favorite character, just because he's awful and he knows it to a degree, but he still plays it up like how he's just the best person ever. Um, and then he's just a better character in like Super as well. Like when he's a grandpa and he's just like the nicest person, and like he gives Goku money, and like he's just very generous and a very different person, but he's still
Yeah.
goofy. Um, let's see what else have I been watching. That might honestly that might honestly be it for watching. As for playing, I'm playing Sea of Stars as well. I'm probably about like 13 hours, 14 hours in. Um, I got to like the big parts that people talk about, I guess. Like a big thing that happened and plots, and then the game really does open up. Um, and I'm loving this game. I'm loving this game a lot. I did have some issues with a certain uh random boss that appeared, but then once I beat that, then I was fine. But there's no real way to grind in this game. You kind of have to like leave an area and then come back, and then the monsters are all
Yeah,
back. But like I feel like I'm under leveled in this game a lot, even though I'm not.
it feels that way, but like without spoiling it for you, because I'm further than you a little bit. Um, just keep doing on the same track, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll come to find out like, hey, I bounced back pretty quick.
Yeah.
And you're not even using any of the amulets. I'm using the only one I'm using is when I end a battle, I get all of my health back. Just because it to me it wasn't fun because I was like, now I gotta like make more food. I want to
Mm-hmm.
enjoy this game for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to play it hardcore. Um, and so, and the game does get hard.
Yeah.
Um, so I think if you stay on that same track there, my biggest problem is like when you do level up, you have to pick one. So it's hard because like now I'm like really high up and I'm like, oh crap, I should have picked more of this.
Yeah.
But you don't level up as much as you would think you would level up. And that's the thing that people got to understand is it's not like Final Fantasy where by the end of the game you're at like level like 99 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It does not level up that quickly.
Question for you, I guess, without spoiling, or maybe this is a spoiler. Is there a level cap? Have you hit a level cap?
I have not, no.
Okay.
I will tell you that it shows you your points to level up,
Mm-hmm.
and do not be intimidated by those points.
Okay.
So like the where I'm at now, like to get to the next level was 25,000 experience points.
Oh yeah.
But also everything I'm fighting is a lot higher.
Yeah, they're all giving you a lot more anyway.
So yeah, and so there's always that. So um don't think of it as like, oh my gosh, this is like because I was like at one point like 9,000. I'm like, I can't do it. But then you get to these further parts and you're like, okay, this makes sense now.
Yeah, I found some like enemies that I was grinding a bit, um, that were really easy to defeat, and they gave a bunch of experience. And so like I kind of went there a few times and was able to gain a level to then fight and beat these guys. But I'm loving this
Also,
game.
oh yeah, it's so good. I would tell everyone else that's listening if they started, fight everything. So when you're on a level, you can see the enemies. Fight all the enemies. Find all the enemies and fight them. It will serve you better later on in the game.
That, and don't be afraid to leave and go to a campfire and regain your health and
Yeah,
save, unless you're using the amulet, because I essentially use the amulet, but I don't. Like I do a fight or two, and then I go back to the camp, and then I rest, and then all my health and MP are back, and then
yeah,
rinse and repeat. But yeah, no,
exactly.
this game is great. I I've said before, I might have said it on here, or in a stream or something. It has potential to be better than Chrono Trigger. It might be better than Chrono Trigger, but I'm really not sure just yet.
I think this is my very close to being one of my game of the years.
Yeah, but like already I've talked about it like on Twitter or whatever, but I think it's one of my game of all time. Like
Wow.
already. Like the the battles are great, the characters are great, the story progression is great. Music, and the writing, the humor, everything like is excellent. I it's like it's like watching cartoons in a certain time, um, like nowish to like maybe let's say, um, yeah, like maybe from like 5 years ago to nowish. So that would have been the era of people who are now my age who are making cartoons, and so this always kind of happens as well. Is that people grow up with something and they really resonate with it and they want to make something themselves that's similar but also better. And so these people clearly love Paper Mario. They clearly love Mario RPG, with the tactical like timed hits, Mario and Luigi, Chrono Trigger. They love all these things, Final Fantasy 6, and they want to make their own that. And because they're so passionate about it, it really comes like it becomes much greater than you think it actually would be. And so like that's why I think this game should be in talks for obviously game of the year, but also of all time. Like it's pretty high up there because it took all these things from all these other games and just kind of just made them better.
Yeah.
But again, we'll see because I still haven't beaten the game yet. Um, so we'll just have to see if I still think that way. But I don't. I'm more than halfway through at least. So like, I don't think that my opinion will change. If anything,
Yeah.
it will increase, probably. Um, Speaking of good games, as well, I've been playing and streaming on twitch.tv/cheatar02. I've been streaming a lot Final Fantasy 16, and I am about halfway through that game according to PlayStation. Um, so that game's awesome. I love that
It
game.
it's been great to watch. I know I was like, I don't really want spoilers, but I'm like, at this point, I just want to see it and watching you play it. It looks like fun.
Yeah, like I'm playing. There's two difficulties. There's like story mode and action, and so I'm playing action, so it's more um action based, I guess. Like enemies hurt more, or hurt normally, I guess I should say, and your attacks do normal damage, and all of that. There are similar things to like amulets, it seems, to where you can make certain things easier, um, but I haven't touched those. Um, but yeah, the story is crazy. Like it really is Game of Thrones, but
That's what I've
Japanese.
noticed.
Just all the twists and turns. Everyone has to be unhappy. The game, um,
Game of
and
Thrones.
yeah, and so I'm really enjoying it. I really love the combat still. I'm really loving the battles, especially. Um, I've unlocked a certain thing in this second time skip because there's so many time skips in this game. I've unlocked a thing where I can now essentially go and find like and fight bounties and to just fight like these big mythical creatures or whatever. And I find that very fun to just go around and just fight things and do all that. And it's very rewarding because they give you a bunch of money for it, and then you can use that money to obviously buy more equipment. Or now I can do a thing where I can buy my crew or whatever. I can just uh, pay for the next round of drinks or whatever at a tavern. I don't know what it does yet, but I've done it twice. So I'm curious if something good happens if I continue on doing this because I feel like I have a lot of money. And so every once in a while I'll go there. Like, yeah, I'll buy a round of drinks for people. Let's see if this does something in the future. And I haven't
Right.
looked anything up. I don't know if it actually does anything or if I'm just boosting my ego in a game and being like, I'm so cool. I can buy this fictional group of characters a round of drinks. I'm so rich. Um, but yeah, it's a great game. I'm looking forward to playing more. by the time that this episode comes out, um, the next day, I think I'm planning on streaming on Thursday, so we'll see then if I actually stream and play more of this. But I really want to beat this game before Spider-Man, and I also, if I can, I want to play Miles Morales just really quick before Spider-Man 2, because yeah. All right. So enough of that. I think we should get to the news stories instead of having 40 minutes of talking about fun stuff. But there are quite a few things to talk about here, but also some of these we might just kind of rush through. So let's go ahead and get at it. So the first thing I have listed here is the Nintendo Direct that happened on September 14th. I think it was.
Yes, I think it was.
Maybe it's September 15th. So we're looking at IGN, and again, as everyone loves me saying this, IGN's dumb, and so they have stuff put in different orders. I tried to go to Nintendo's official website to do it, but Nintendo has it all in different orders too, because they have it just like IGN. So the first thing that happened was Paper Mario, or not the first thing that happened. The first thing that they're showing here, which was the last thing that happened, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door was the surprise. One more thing. This is an HD remake. It is a remake, and you can tell. Thousand Year Door is not even debatably, like, almost everyone agrees with this, that Thousand Year Door is the best Paper Mario game ever.
Absolutely.
It was originally on GameCube, and it was the second one as well. And it was the last one to have turn-based RPG. All the other ones are not turn-based, like Super Mario RPG or anything like that. Has a great cast of characters. It has great maps, great story. And you can tell, like, if you look at sprites and stuff, old versus new, they are newer sprites, but they kept certain designs. For example, newer Paper Marios, Mario has a white border around him, whereas in this one he doesn't. He has his black border around him, and so do all the other characters. So they are going back to their roots. People were happy to see how things weren't censored. So in the middle of was it Rogueport or station or Rogueport Island or something? In the middle of there's just a noose just in the middle of town. The noose is still there, and people are still happy that that's there for some reason, because they're just like, hey, they didn't censor it. This is like a pirate town, so like that's cool that there's still a noose here. So yeah, I really like original. I really like Thousand Year Door, the original Thousand Year Door, a lot.
It's much better than it's better than the Switch one they came out with a couple years ago. I bought that, the origami one.
Mm-hmm.
It was not fun. It was just difficult to play. You had to get like timing down on everything. I did not find it fun. So I'm glad this came out, and it was a cool, like, at the very end, like, oh, hey, there's one more thing we want to talk about. Thank you very much. And they went into this. I think this is cool. I think this is, and I know people were like, oh, that means there's not a new Switch coming out next year. There's a new Switch coming out next year. I'm a believer of, like, they cannot wait another year for another Switch.
Yeah.
And so, and this also kind of makes it think that the new Switch will be backwards compatible, because this doesn't come out till next year.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about rumors and stuff, but like, there's a new rumor that the new Switch isn't coming out until like fall or winter of next year.
I would think that, yeah.
Just because there are quite a few games that are listed for next year, but like Luigi, for example, Luigi's Mansion 2 that we're going to talk about in a little bit, that's slated for like summer. So why would you release something that big before after your previous thing? Like, just make that one of your Switch 2 games or whatever. But also as well, there's always that in between era, like where 3DS versus Switch and Wii U and all that stuff, where like there were games still coming out on both consoles until one of them eventually stopped.
Yeah.
But we also don't know what a new Switch is going to do. We don't know if like these games are going to be more powered up, maybe. Like it could be backwards compatible, but then like, oh, if you're playing one of these newer games, it's kind of like PlayStation versus PS4 versus PS4 Pro, where it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you got a PS4 game, but if you have a Pro, it runs a little better. So
That's my thought
yeah,
on it.
kind of like how the OLED kind of runs a little better too for certain things, I feel, because like the battery and that kind of stuff. But all right, so our boy the bird on Twitter was right. There is a new Mario vs. Donkey Kong. So that got leaked like the week before. I think we even talked about it maybe on
I think we did.
on the previous podcast. But yeah, it's Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake. It's coming February 16th, and as many other game outlets have said, February is a stacked month.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, but there's multiple RPGs coming out. There's multiple just video games coming out in February. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But I've never played the first Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Have you ever played Mario vs. Donkey Kong before? It was originally on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. So no, I never have, but I thought this was really cool because someone like me that has not played it has an opportunity to play them now. I think they look like pretty cool puzzle games with Mario and Donkey Kong and a few other people.
Yeah, and this one introduced co-op in it as well. So that is a
was really
cool thing to see. So like you can have Toad and Mario. I will say as well, I don't know, have you ever played Donkey Kong on the Game Boy? Like Donkey Kong 91 or whatever. Where it's like original Donkey Kong like for the first thing, and then after you do that, then it unlocks and it's more like these types of puzzles. So Mario vs. Donkey Kong is more or less like a spiritual successor to the Game Boy Donkey Kong game. So it's really cool to see that this game is back and it's not doing the March of the Minis like Lemmings type stuff anymore. It's very much a Mario trying to get through puzzles and then get the key and leave. So yeah, again, that's February 16th. The next thing that they have listed here, which was another thing that the bird said, F-Zero 99 is confirmed. It is out now. It came out the day of for Nintendo Switch Online members. I have not played it yet. Have you touched it at all?
No, which is funny because I've seen people stream it. Man, it looks like so much fun chaos. I can't wait to play it though. I watched a couple people stream it. I actually watched Mike Batave stream it and scream and yell and swear. But it looks so much fun because I loved Mario when they did the Mario 99. Loved it. Tetris is okay. I mean, I didn't get into it. But this one was kind of cool. I think this is kind of like the way the Nintendo. We'll talk later about Nintendo versus the PlayStation, like how it went. Because everything on here, like a lot of the stuff they talked about on the Nintendo one, super exciting, and this was one of them. Like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get F-Zero now finally.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people say this is really fun, but also a lot of people have said if this costs money, they were not going to play it, but they didn't regret playing it. Next thing that they showed is that they gave the new Peach game a title. It's called Princess Peach Showtime. It comes out next year in March of 2024. They showed a bunch of different gameplay with it. It seems to be kind of like its own thing, like very puzzly, but then also kind of like WarioWare to a degree. Like it seems like each show that you go to has a different gimmick, and whether that gimmick is either um, being a sword fighter or being a chef. So then you have to do like chef mini games and bake cakes, or there was a karate or kung fu Peach, um, and there seemed to be like it looked like kung fu or
Yeah,
karate or whatever from NES kind of, but modernized. Um, and then let's see, there's like a Detective Peach, which was basically just like Sherlock Holmes. There's
yeah.
just a lot of different things here. It's pretty cool to see that Peach has her own game again, but this time really showcasing her as a character and doing something new that's not just like a platformer.
And I've said it before, when they use Mario characters to do Mario games, you can't go wrong in my mind. Because like that's what people want. I mean, they want more Mario, they want more Mario games. And so just these three we talked about here, they're gonna do well.
Yeah,
They're gonna do super well.
yeah. This next thing is coming to other consoles as well. But Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. It's coming out. Um, let's see, it's coming out February 14th, so Valentine's Day next year. Yeah, remastered compilation will have an option to toggle between the old visuals versus the new visuals. Um, and then it'll include expansions and secret levels as well. I have never played the original Tomb Raiders ever.
I played the original one or two. I just remember the giant dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like it's super early in the console life when these came out. I think this is really cool. I think this gives people a chance that have never played the first three and gone straight into the one that's like Uncharted but more violent. Ones it gives them that opportunity to see like this is where she came from.
Yeah,
And so I thought this was really cool. I was like, I don't know about Switch, but then I found out it's coming on other consoles.
yeah.
And so my console I would probably play it on is PS5.
Yeah, but at the same time though, like the remaster isn't gonna do too much to it. So like it might just
Right.
be fine on Switch. But
Yeah. I mean, if I got it on Switch, it's because I want to play it before I go to bed, sort of deal.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but I thought that was pretty cool as well, even though it wasn't a straight Nintendo one.
Yeah. Next one, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is now officially called Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. As I said earlier, it's coming out next summer in 2024. Um, that's all it really was. It was just showing Dark Moon, but they don't call it Dark Moon anymore. Um, I played Dark Moon. I thought it was a pretty fun game. It's different. It's very different. I never beat the third one still. I enjoyed the third one a lot, but I think the first one's the best one still, hands down.
Um, my son that's gonna graduate this year from high school, he had this on his DS,
Mm-hmm.
and so like this is one of his first games that he got that he purchased on his own. Um, when he lost his DS with it in there, he was very upset. So this is kind of cool. It's coming out. I showed it to him, and he's like, "Is that the one I lost?" I said, "Yep." And he goes, "Dude, I will totally buy that on Switch."
Mm-hmm.
You know, again, keeping these characters and doing these remasters. I know people are like, "Oh, it's a remaster, it's a remaster," but let's look at the remasters that are coming out that are selling. Red Dead came out, and it was actually worthwhile. It's selling pretty decent. There's the Metal Gear Solid coming out next month or the month after. That's gonna sell really well. So I'm okay with the remasters. I think it brings
Yeah,
it to a new audience.
yeah, definitely. Um, so this is the first thing that they showed off. Splatoon 3 expansion pass, side order stuff. They said that it was a thing that could be played again and again, so it kind of sounds like a roguelite Splatoon, which is interesting. We'll see how that goes. I haven't touched Splatoon in a long time. I have it still. Um, but other games came out, unfortunately, and that's just one of the games that just gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
But this DLC looks really cool, but I don't play Splatoon for single player. I play it for multiplayer. So
It's funny, we're gonna talk about another game later that looks like Splatoon, but I think this is cool that they're adding more to it.
yeah,
I never played it, but I've watched you stream it. It looks pretty fun. It looks like um pretty fun, and doing like a single like DLC like this, I think it's fun.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. Next thing here, they talked about it briefly. We've seen this a lot. It's just Prince of Persia, the new Prince of Persia game. Honestly, I kind of checked out at that point because I've
Yeah.
already seen it. They showed more Super Mario RPG. Of course, this comes out November 17th of this year. It looks great. I love it. I will say I'm not the biggest fan of Super Mario RPG. Like, I don't really enjoy it. Like, I enjoy the game, I guess I should say, but like out of the others, I would rather play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. But there is a cool thing that was only announced on like the Japanese Direct, is that you can switch between the newly orchestrated music and then switch to the old like Super Nintendo music at will whenever you
Oh, that's
want
pretty
to.
cool.
Yeah. So if you don't want to listen to the new music, you can listen to the old stuff. Yeah. Not much really to say there except it's Mario RPG. We've seen it already. Trombone Champ, that crazy game that I played on PC and streamed once, is coming to Switch. Actually, it's already out on Switch. It has multiplayer as well, and you can use like the Joy-Con move up and down for the cursor, and it's supposed to be played like horribly because like that's the point of the game. But yeah, it's kind of fun. Like that fits well on Switch.
Oh yeah.
Um, Dave the Diver was already announced for Switch. It's that really weird PC game that a lot of people have been talking about, where it's just like I don't know how to explain it. It's very pixelated, but it like has so many different parts to it. Like I don't really know what kind of game it is.
It's a
Um,
different game. I mean, I've seen trailers before, and I was like, man, this is kind of a little bit of everything.
yeah, it's like here's restaurant
Um,
simulator, here's fishing, here is
yeah,
like fighting things, here's all this other stuff, and you just don't know what it is.
yeah,
Um, Next thing here, they announced the last booster pass or the last wave of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stuff here. And so in Wave 6, they introduced a new racing track called, let's see. Okay, Daisy Circuit. It's from Mario Kart Wii. And they gave us new racers, which we haven't seen in quite a while. They gave us Diddy Kong, finally. We haven't seen Diddy Kong since the GameCube one, Double
yeah,
Dash. Like, and all the others he hasn't been in, I'm pretty sure. We also got Funky Kong. We got Pauline. And we got Peachette, which is that Toadette who transforms into a peach. Detective Pikachu returns. We got a new trailer for that. I didn't really pay attention again because we've seen Detective Pikachu.
yeah.
I kind of just tuned it out. They did announce that there are still more amiibo coming out. There is Tears of the Kingdom, so there's Zelda and Ganondorf. There's also Xenoblade Chronicles 3 amiibo coming out, and then there isn't a date on it yet, but they did confirm, hey, Sora from Kingdom Hearts is getting the amiibo, so that's gonna be a hard one to get. So
Yeah, I was looking to see if they were gonna at least um reserve them anywhere, and I haven't seen them yet. I think that's gonna be a hard one to get. You know?
yeah, honestly, they all probably are for the most part, especially Xenoblade. But yeah, Sora, good luck.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, like I want him because it's Sora, but I don't know if you'll be able to find it. It might be easier to just import, and at this point, I don't care. Um, Horizon Chase 2 is available. It was on all these other things for the longest time, and now it's available on Switch. This was a weird one. Trace Memory, aka Another Code. Um, it was originally a DS game, and then there's also a Wii game for it. And the Wii game only came out in Europe and Japan, I think, if that's correct. And anyway, it's now coming out in a collection, and it's gonna be on Nintendo Switch. So it's like a adventure mystery type game, which fits the DS very well. So I can see why it was a DS game originally. But I never played any of them. I never played the first one. But I don't know. Looks cool. Maybe I'll get it someday. Saga has a new Saga game. I don't know what else to say. It's a new Saga game. I don't really play Saga.
I don't either.
I've never really played any of them, to be honest. I just like the music. Unicorn Overlord. It is a new tactics game behind the people who made 13 Sentinels. So Vanillaware is working on this. I think it's Vanillaware and Atlas together. I think it's what it was. So yeah, it's those types of character designs that you love, plus it's a tactics game. Oh boy, I'm not getting this game at all. So don't expect me to play it. Don't expect me to stream it, because I do not care. It is a tactics game, and most tactics games are bad. So yeah, no. I think it looks pretty, but I'm not getting it. No way. Let's see. There's another thing. It's kind of look HD 2D. It's a Suikoden spiritual successor, Eiyuden Chronicle. It's coming out April 2024. There's a WarioWare Move It trailer. Wario spoke, and it's clearly not Charles Martinet.
Yeah, I noticed
it's very weird, and everyone's just like, man, this is bad. And I don't think it's bad necessarily. It's just very... It sounds like someone doing an impression of Wario, and we're just not used to having other people be Wario yet.
We're gonna have to. It's kind of like, okay, so DuckTales, right? DuckTales from back in the 80s and the 90s, fantastic. New DuckTales, brand new voices.
David Tennant.
And so, it's difficult to watch it because you're like, God, that doesn't sound like, Uncle Scrooge.
I will say, though, with DuckTales, the reason why they changed voices was probably because Uncle Scrooge passed away before they started production.
Oh, yeah, he was old. He was old when he was doing DuckTales.
His last game the last thing that he did, I think, was Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah.
He was Scrooge in that. So, actually, no. The last thing that he did was DuckTales Remastered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that has him talking.
Yep. So yeah, Wario doesn't sound great, honestly, but we'll get used to him. Or they might maybe it's just a bad clip, maybe the rest of them is fine. So we'll see. They talked about, man, there's so much to talk about. Let's just speed through these. There's a Nintendo museum that's happening, and it's going to be completed in March of 2024. It's going to be in Kyoto. I guess that's it.
Yeah, it was a big show. I would say, before we even talk about Sony's, I like this one the better. Mm-hmm. I just felt there was more things that were like, oh, that's really cool. That's a good announcement, sort of deal. So, yeah. That's my personal thought. Much better.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think out of the two, this one's probably the better one. Sony was mostly focused on third-party stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why, that's just why it was different compared to this. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to the Sony. So they're gonna just, again, it's another IGN is what I have here, and so it's gonna have things out of order because why not? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth got an announcement and a trailer, a really beefy trailer. It's coming out February 29th, so next year is a leap year apparently, and it's coming out on a leap day. So yeah, February 29th, 2024. It's going to be 2 discs. I don't know what that means yet still. I don't know if they're both installed discs. I don't know, because like they're
Crazy.
PS5 like ultra Blu-ray discs, so there just might, I don't know, maybe there's just a lot of stuff on it. Who knows? Trailer was interesting. Can't really talk about the trailer without spoiling too much, but I will say that this seems to be more, for most of the trailer, it seems to be more faithful to the prior, um compared to the prior game. Like it seems to be more on track with the original Final Fantasy VII. I just heard that things are going to be out of order, so like they'll probably like go to Golden Saucer first, and then do other things or whatever. And then they did confirm that Wutai is not in this game for some reason. Wutai is going to be in the next one.
I thought this was the highlight of the show. This trailer was beefy. It's probably gonna make my PS5 sound like it's a leaf blower. It's it's gonna be a large game. I have actually re-downloaded 7 Remake to try and get through it before then, so I could jump right into this. It looks really cool though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still happening, but for all of you, if you want a digital copy of it, you can pay $70 and you will get Remake, the integrated version, digitally for your PS5 currently, and then you'll also get Rebirth when it comes out. So you're paying $70 for 2 games, which is amazing. That is the best deal if you like digital. If you don't, then too bad. Let's see. One of the next bigger things that happened was Spider-Man 2. They showed a bunch of like gameplay stuff. They shown the spider suits and some other stuff like that. So
65 suits is crazy.
yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, and like each suit like has their own variant as well. So I don't know if that's where they're getting that number from or what, but yeah, like there's different color variants for each suit. Like you choose a suit and then there's like 4 of them.
Yeah. Hopefully it's like 65 individual suits,
Yeah.
but that's an insane number.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait for that game. So we'll see. But there wasn't really much after that. Like honestly, like these other previews and stuff showed more Spider-Man 2 recently than that.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's gonna be new Resident Evil 4 DLC, Separate Ways DLC. That comes out September. Wait, no, that's when the trailer comes out. I don't know when this game is. September 21st. Okay. So yeah, Resident Evil 4 DLC. And Resident Evil 4 remakes PSVR 2 mode is coming out in winter at some time. So
I mean, were you shocked to hear that? Because I wasn't. I'm like, it's already on the meta. So
yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, remake is, every Resident Evil seems to have a VR mode now. So having remake also be on VR, that just makes sense. Yeah. The next thing that is on here is Avatar, and I don't care about it. I still don't care
I
about
don't
it.
either. I don't either. I mean, I watched the trailer. It looks decent. I am one of those firm, and I say this, and I'm going to get hate. The first movie was great, but it wasn't epic in my mind. And I watched the second one, and I'm like, they're playing with their tails more. I as much as everyone talked about how great of a film series this is, to me, it was okay. So that they're doing a game about it, it's going to be an okay game. I just don't see it blowing it out. You know, it'll probably get like 3 re-releases. If it's like the movies, they're gonna re-release it like 4 or 5 times.
How was the old Avatar game? Wasn't there one on 360 a long time ago?
I heard that was pretty decent. The 360 one I heard was pretty decent. I think, if
Okay.
I remember correctly. But like, I guess with my thought is, if you're gonna do like an open world like fun game, I'd love to have more of a Star Wars open world than I would this.
Yeah.
And James Cameron, every time a movie's gonna break his record, throws this shit in the movie theaters. It makes me so mad.
Everyone
Remember
does
when
that.
well, remember when Endgame was gonna beat Avatar's record? And he goes, "Hey, this weekend we're gonna throw it in the theaters for the weekend.
Yeah.
Let somebody else have it, okay? It's okay.
Yeah.
You know, you are too busy writing the other 5 or 6 you're making of these.
And
Sorry,
they'll never come out.
no, well, Disney's like at some point gonna cut the checks off.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So yeah, this game's coming out December 7th. It doesn't look great, honestly. Like, I don't know. Like it looks weird. It looks really weird. Next thing to talk about, new faceplates and new controllers. They're just regular DualSenses and regular faceplates. There's nothing special about them.
no,
They're just different colors. So Bennett Foddy's new game, Baby Steps, is coming out next summer. So it's like getting over it, stuff like that. It looks like just looks stupid. Like it looks like one of those games that's like gonna do well streaming. And you're just gonna be like trying to continue walking, but then because you're terrible at walking, it's hard to do it, I guess. I don't know. People are gonna stream it.
they'll stream it.
That's the point of it. Let's see. Roblox is coming to PS4.
Don't let your kids play it. Like, it's pretty bad. Don't let your kids play it for real.
Ghostbusters PSVR 2, that's been out on other things for a while. It's coming out in October 26th. Helldivers 2 got a trailer. That's coming out. Huh?
I was gonna say, by the way, the Helldivers, the first trailer they showed, I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna get a Starship Troopers video. That's what it looked like.
Oh yeah.
And then it went into this, and I'm like, so basically it's like Starship Troopers. It literally was like the Starship Trooper, like at the beginning of the movie. They have like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my service, I'm gonna be a citizen.
I'm doing
That's
my
what it
part.
looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was this, I was like,
Hmm.
I don't know. People talk about how great the first one was. I just am not. It's not for me.
Yeah, I've never played them before, so we'll see.
It'll be on PlayStation Plus anyway.
Probably. Yeah, it comes out PC and PS5 February 8th of next year. Foam Stars is getting its open beta here soon. September 29th through the 1st of August on PS5. So
You mean Splatoon?
Yeah, Splatoon.
You know what's gonna be funny is this is a free game, so there's gonna be like, knowing Square Enix, there's gonna be microtransactions freaking everywhere.
Is the game actually free? This is just a beta.
Well, this one's a beta, but I thought, if I remember the first trailer, it was gonna be free to play, and then they're gonna probably have like tons of transactions everywhere.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Are you gonna play it?
Probably. I don't know. Maybe if I remember.
I remember.
Yeah.
It left a lasting impression on you.
I mean, I have too much other actual things to do, but so I'm not. If the actual game comes out, I will play it, but I don't know if I'm gonna get into the beta. I guess I should say.
Okay, real quick before you do this one, if there's a beta for Killer Clowns for Outer Space, will you play that? What? That game looks like so much fun.
It's too spooky for me.
Oh, it's not that spooky. I mean, yes, if you don't like clowns, don't play it. Especially if you have like a fear of clowns, don't watch the trailer.
I do not, but I don't know. I just generally don't play betas, I guess I should say. I just feel like it's a waste of time because then all of that stuff that you did generally doesn't matter for the real game. So I'd rather just play the real game.
True.
Unless it's like something like Halo that it's still in beta, right?
Oh my gosh. We've not gotten an update. The last update was what, like 2 months ago?
I think
I
so.
think yeah, at this point, you get an update when you get an update. The studio is not doing very well. So, I just play my one standard thing that I play on there, and we'll call it a day.
Yeah. Tales of Arise got a new DLC. So Tales of Arise came out a couple years ago, and it's getting a big old DLC, and that comes out November 9th. That's it.
You know what's funny? They said that this was going to be smaller with some independent titles and some other titles they're working on, right? They showed Spider-Man. Where's Ghost #2? They could have been like, showing a picture and been like, they don't even have to show video. It's been like, hey, here it is.
Well, if they're not working on it right now. Well, Sucker Punch is doing, I don't know, what else did they work on?
I don't know, but that's what they're going to be working. I guarantee that's what they're working on, as well as it did. Now, if there's a Ghost special edition controller, I will be buying that.
They're Infamous, right?
Dude, yeah, I think so, but I could not see them doing an Infamous game.
I think Infamous would do really well right now because people are on that superhero, like bad superhero hype right now. Like with The Boys and with Invincible and stuff like that. I think Infamous, like this is the right climate for that.
I couldn't play it because every time I played it, I got motion sickness. It's so weird. I wanted to play it. That's Greg's favorite game. Always heard about how good it was. I would literally get motion sickness every single time. 1 and 2. But the newer ones they did for PS4, no. Didn't think they were as good. But yeah. I would think, looking at the both, what saved him on this one was Final Fantasy. That's what saved him. Beefy trailer. We already know Spider-Man's coming out. We already know a lot of this stuff. It was great to see game trailer, like with gameplay, but I feel like they've already shown some of that off.
Yeah.
This year's PlayStation has played off the fact that they're ahead, right? But I don't think they considered if there is a new Switch that comes out next year, that's going to be difficult for them because a new Switch is going to sell like hotcakes.
You would think.
I think if you look at every year, every Christmas, their Switches are nowhere to be found. It wasn't even until like at least a year or so that you were able to find Switch Lights anywhere. Remember, you couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Now
I don't know how well a Switch 2 is going to sell initially. I'm just going to say that right now. Like, they're probably going to sell fairly well, but there are going to be quite a few parents and other people saying, depending on how they name this thing, they're going to be like, you already have Switch at home. You don't need Switch 2. It's like Wii U. It's like, you already have a Wii at home. You don't need Wii U.
I mean, as a parent, my kids have Switch Lights. I will not be upgrading them because they don't even know how to take care of those.
Yeah.
But in my household, I've got an OLED, I've got an Animal Crossing, and then I have the Zelda OLED, and then I have the OG one plus 2 Switch Lights. I will be purchasing one for myself, but only if it's backwards compatible. I mean, if it's not, I could wait. But I still think that they're smart enough to be like, hey, we need to make this backwards compatible. Yeah. But I think Sony's just playing it safe because they're like number one. But I don't picture Xbox all of a sudden blowing up. And like people are like, oh man, I gotta have that new Xbox, Series S, and it's got a bigger hard drive.
Yeah.
But it's more money when I can just go buy one of those hard drives and hook it to it, and there you go. So it should be interesting to see what happens. I just didn't think this was very good. I think they could have done better. Yeah. I feel like the only game that I thought was cool, it was, like I said, Spider-Man's great to see, but it comes out here in a couple weeks. I don't want to see a bunch of stuff anyway. Yeah. I want to see it when it's on there. The Final Fantasy trailer was great, but that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. Like, that's pretty much it.
Are you gonna get Avatar and stream it?
Of course not.
That's what you're getting from Christmas for me, by the way.
I mean, if you buy it for me, I'll stream it.
It's gonna be. I think you're gonna. If I do that, you're only gonna stream it just because it was a gift. And you're gonna be like, "This is not good. It's not good."
Yeah. Well, that was our episode of the Gay Gaming Plus podcast. Again, you can find us bi-weekly on either youtube.com/Gay Gaming. You can also find us on podcast services everywhere, Spotify, iTunes, whatever. You can just find us there and you can listen. These episodes come out audio Wednesdays and then video Friday. I don't really have much else to say. Do you have anything else to say, really?
Just to get at it.
Get at it.